So what is minimum wage? That is whatever you work, at least for the work what you have done, you are supposed to get paid the minimum of the minimum at least. The demand for a fair wage is also reflected in the slogan that is equal pay for equal work. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students. Before starting the session, if you have not subscribed our channel, please do subscribe the channel and like the video so that will motivate us to do more videos. Let's go with the last session of the first chapter, wages and salary administration. Now we have come to the last topic, which is the wage policy in India. Wage policy in India. Usually, whenever we talk about the wage policy in India, many people say that the wages or the salary which is given in India is comparatively very less than any other developed nation or developing nation. But let me tell you here, though we got independence in 1947, but we went with a labor law in back 1936. That means before independence only we had the labor law. That means the human resource management in India was very defined, and it was actually the thing which we couldn't actually make it more updated in the earlier version of the 20th century. But in the 21st century we have made a point that we need to actually have a very strong legislature where we will bring more of the employees and the laborers in a very good contract. So the first one here we have is what? That is a wage policy in India. Back in 1936 itself, we had something called the Minimum Wage Act and all other acts. Let's go with the first one here. The term wage policy refers to legislation. When I say legislation, that means what? That is the government. Now, government is involved in putting up the rules and regulations. So it is the government actions. It is what? It is the government action. Now, why is that the government need to interfere? Because government is the body which actually see to it that the public are not exploited by the industries. That's the reason the government is always watching the industries whether they are treating the laborers and the employees in fair values or not. So here what happens is the government has undertaken too many policies and we have set the rules and regulations, and each and every industries, companies or whichever corporate it is, they are supposed to go with the rules and regulation which is set by the legislature. So the first act which we actually went with is the 1936, that is the Payment of Wage Act. Now here we need to understand that is the Payment of Wage Act. Here we need to understand what? That is British East India Company. They are the one who actually brought this kind of an act, and those time when India was not independent, the Congress committee, they agreed with this Minimum Wage Act concept of the payment of wages, and the industrialists used to actually exploit all the workers. That's the reason this Payment of Wages Act was introduced, so that there should not be any delay in payment. There should not be any delay in payment. Delay in payment. The next one we had is the Industrial Dispute Act 1947. Soon after our independence, we had this particular thing, that is the dispute, that is the industrial dispute. Now here what has happened is, the minute we got independence, Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister of India, he actually announced that in every region wherever the industries are placed, there we need to have something called the tribunals. What is it? Tribunals. Now, tribunals means what? The administrative body should be there in that particular area wherever you have industry, so that those administrators will actually see to it, or they'll check on each and every industries properly with the norms and the rules and regulations. The enactment of Minimum Wage Act 1948, after independence, we went with one thing, that is minimum wage. Are they getting it or not? So that is what here we have gone with, that is a Minimum Wage Act, so that each and every person, whoever works, are they getting enough or not? And the last one is Remuneration Act 1976. Now here what has happened is, there is something called equality, that is the equal remuneration. Which remuneration? Equal remuneration. Because here there was no discrimination between any gender, caste, community, religion, or any kind of differences, because everything should be same, and whoever works what, that person should get whatever he desired and whatever he deserves. So that was the concept of Equal Remuneration Act 1976. Now what is that we have is, we have all these acts, now we have updated it. Now very recently we had our labor minister who resigned the post, and now we have a new labor minister. Earlier we had Santosh ji as a labor minister. He has done so much things to the public, and he has actually given a lot of benefits to the laborers here. Now we need to watch what the new person Bhupendra Yadav will actually do. Let's wait and watch about what Bhupendra Yadav does in the BJP government. And concept of policy, why is that we should have a policy? So there are 4 points actually, but in your syllabus we have only 3 points to be discussed. The first one is because of the minimum wage, second is the living wage, and the last one is fair wage. So we have these 3 concepts in your syllabus which you are supposed to understand. The first one here we have is what? Minimum wage, living wage, and the fair wage. So what is minimum wage? That is whatever you work, at least for the work what you have done, you are supposed to get paid the minimum of the minimum, at least. That is what the least price which the government has already went with the booking of it. The next one here, when we go with this, that a minimum wage is said to be a wage which is sufficient to satisfy at least the minimum needs. So whatever is your basic needs, right? The basic needs, those should be at least satisfied. That means here only we are talking about the needs but not the wants. So this is called the minimum wage. Next we have is living wage. Now it is more than the minimum wage. That means it is not just what you have done they are supposed to pay you. They should actually fulfill the needs, at least whatever you have felt. Say example here, it is a wage which should offer an employee incentive. See, the word is what? Incentive. The second chapter in HRM 3 is incentive plan. So I'll tell you more about what exactly incentives is. Incentive means something more than the salary or more than the wages. Incentive to work and produce enough in quantity without sacrificing quality, so that the payment of such wage is justifiable by the industry. So that means what? Now here even the laborers should do something, that is they're not supposed to think about quantity, they are supposed to go with quality. Then what happens is even the industrialist or the employer will actually pay him more than the minimum wage, and that is called as the living wage. Now the living wage for a worker should be such as to include not merely the cost of maintenance for himself but also for supporting his family. So here what happens is, say example, you are the industrialist and we all people are the workers. Now what you do is, what I work you will pay me that much, that is called minimum wage. But what I work and I give you more quality rather than the quantity, now what happens is you will give me more support, saying that not just wages, you will actually treat me good, you will make my children actually study in the schools and colleges. So those things are called living wage. Here in living wage we have something, that is there are 4 things which the industrialists look into whenever they go with the living wage. The first one is education for children, protection against health, that means they're gonna give me the insurances or they will make some insurance for me, requirement of essential social needs, and the last one is to measure of insurance against the more important misfortune. Something happens to me, they are supposed to take care of my family. That is what the living wage will describe. So which type of a wage you people need to go with, whether it is minimum or living wage? Let me tell you here students, rather than working for somebody, work for yourself. Give more time to yourself and be your employer rather than employee. So I'll only prefer my students to be the employer rather than employee. So this is what living wage is. The next one we have is fair wage. What is it? Fair wage. So minimum we got to know. Second we went with the living wage. Now we have something called fair wage, which will say that whatever you have done, I have given you more than that. So that is what is called the fair wage. While living wage is the cherishable goal and unlimited aim or target, a fair wage is a step towards a living wage. So a fair means whatever I have done, right? The owner or the employer is giving me something more than that, saying that okay, whatever you have done, I have given you more. Say example, if you go with piece rate wage system, whatever I have worked, you will pay me only for the work, isn't it? Now supposingly here, for 1 unit you will give me 50 rupees. Now I have manufactured 60 units. Let's go with this. Now how much? 60 into 50. 6 5s is 30, in the sense 300. So you will actually pay me how much? 3000. So 3000 rupees is what you will actually pay. Now this is the piece rate wage system, isn't it? Now what has happened? Instead of paying 3000 rupees, you thought that the way I went with the quality I have given everything. Now what happened is you gave me 3750. Now that 750 is what? It's a fair thing. That is okay, whatever it is, you have spent time, you have given me your time. So that is what the thing is. That is called the fair wage. Now the fair wage is a step for living wage. In the narrow sense, a wage rate is fair if it is equal to the rate prevailing in the same area and industry. Now how is that you determined 3750? Because in that particular locality, people whoever works and they are supposed to get 3000, they are getting 3200, 3300. But now you have given me more than what the other people are giving. That is what the fair wage is all about. And the last one here, the demand for a fair wage is also reflected in the slogan, that is equal pay for equal work. Equal pay for equal work. So this is what we have as the fair wage. So we have 3 types of wages. Totally we have 4, but in your syllabus it is only 3. Let's go with only 3 of the wages. The first one is the minimum wage, second is living wage, and the third one is fair wage. So fair wage is always a step forward for the living wage. So wage differentials. Now what does that differentials means? Differences. Now differences not on the basis of community, religion, caste, your color or creed. It's a differentiality that is about the region where the industries are there, where the industries are less. What happens? It depends upon the demands and supply. So the demand for laborers are more. Now what happens is they'll get more wages. Demand is very less, supply is more. That means there are so many laborers, but the work is very less. So what happens there is the money value will actually come down. So you will actually get less wages. So wage may differ in different type of employment, occupation, from industry to industry, between person to person, in the same grade or level, from state to state or from country to country. So that is the difference. What differences you actually see, that is what we call it as wage differentials. Say example I'll give you here. We have things here, say India. Here we have USA, and let's go with one of the example of Kenya. Now here understand, there are a lot of industries in USA, but the population of USA is lesser than India. That means what? Here you don't have supply, you have demand for laborers. You have demand here, demand. But here if you go with it, you have more supply. Here you don't have, you have less industries. Now understand, where supply is more in India, that is the manpower is more in India, what happens is the rate is less. Here rate is more. That means they'll pay more actually. When it comes to Kenya, what happens is these are the people who actually don't have a lot of industry. So the wage differentials will be there. That is the reason here what happens is from state to state, country to country. Let's go with this example. When you go with state to state, the way Jharkhand is, the way Uttaranchal is, the way other states or the districts or the cities is, if you compare with Bangalore, Chennai or Tamil Nadu or any kind of a state, cities, there only you will get the differentials, that is who will get what, how much will they actually get it, what is the expectation wage rate. So this is what the thing is. So it depends on 4 factors. Now this is called the reflect on, what they reflect on. The first thing they reflect on is the physical and mental ability of employee, whether he is skilled, unskilled, not skilled. So here when we go with the second one is productivity and efficiency of employee. The productivity is more, efficiency is more, definitely he'll get what? More wages. Labor mobility, that means the movement of labors, if it is more rapid, like turnover is there or something, that the laborers are more in one particular area, what happens? That is what the demand and supply is all about. And the last one is demand and supply of labor. So these are the factors which will reflect on wage differentials. So this chapter is all done, and if you have any doubt regarding this chapter, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much. In the next session, I'll go with the second chapter called incentive plans. Till then, thank you so much.